Year's is a special holiday, a time for celebration, a time for friends and family, and a time for football. Today in the historic SBC Cotton Bowl, two schools with 2 centuries of football tradition collide for just the second time ever. It's Tennessee and Texas A&M. Your first kickoff in 2005 is next on Fox. An unseasonably warm New Year's Day in Dallas. The Texas A&M 12th man stands ready. Rocky Top also fired up for this first day in 2005. We welcome you to the 69th edition of the SBC Cotton Bowl, where the 15th ranked Tennessee Volunteers take on number 22 Texas A&M. Hi again, everybody. Alongside Brian Baldinger, I'm Tom Brenneman. Happy New Year, and welcome to the SBC Cotton Bowl. Today, the Tennessee Volunteers, Baldy, go for their 10th win of the year, but this year they've done it in a very different manner than great Tennessee teams in the past.
Well, Tennessee under Philip Fulmer has always had an established quarterback. Heck, you know, Peyton Manning, and this year they started 2 freshmen. They both got hurt. It fell into the hands of a familiar name at Tennessee, Clausen. This one, the brother of Casey, Rick Clausen, is taking over the controls. But he doesn't feel like he has to do it by himself. He's got a couple of backs that could both go for over 1,000 yards this season today. Gerald Riggs along with Cedric Houston. These guys are looking to pound the football out here this afternoon.
As far as Texas A&M is concerned, winners of 7 games this season, a program on the rise under second-year head coach Dennis Franchione.
Well, this whole program is in the hands of one guy, the quarterback, and he's special. This guy
here today. The SBC Cotton Bowl kicks off. You're watching on Fox. We welcome the visiting Tennessee Volunteers out of the Southeastern Conference. Was the year the Rocky Top quarterback shuffle. 2 different freshman starters were lost to injury, forcing Rick Clausen to lead the Volunteers the rest of the way. The rushing attack picked up the slack. A pair of Tennessee backs challenging the 1,000-yard mark. But overall, the season was headlined by 2 tough defeats at the hands of 3rd-ranked Auburn, including the hard-fought SEC championship game. Now join our public address announcer at the Cotton Bowl, Bill Melton.
Representing SBC, John Atterbury. Representing the Cotton Bowl Athletic Association, Chairman Gail M. Earls and other officers. And joining them and making the ceremonial coin toss is the governor of the great state of Texas, the Honorable Rick Perry. The referee for today's game is Bill Algie from the Mid-American Conference.
Texas A&M has won the toss. You can elect to receive, defend a goal, or defer. Texas A&M has won the toss. They elect to defer their choice until the second half.
In Big D, 69 degrees. The storm should come in much later this afternoon. So it looks like we have averted it, and the same could be said for your program, Coach Fulmer. You lost 2 quarterbacks, countless other injuries, yet here you are on New Year's Day. This has to be one of the proudest seasons in your tenure at Tennessee.
I am really proud of our football team. It's been a fun year, even though we've had all the adversities that we've had. This team has been resilient and fun to coach.
All right, Coach, you look around here, contrary to popular opinion and the Maroon, this is not a home game for the Aggies, but your guys told us, you know what, we like adversity. Is that why you're successful on the road?
We've been a very good road team, and we've got a good contingent of Tennessee people here. But obviously in Texas, A&M has done a good job of getting their folks here, but we just got to play well and keep the crowd out of it.
I'm sure you'll give a reason for the Tennessee fans to yell. Best of luck, Coach. Happy New Year. Hey, guys, you know, they want to poo-poo the 12th man, but there is no 12th man like at Texas A&M. We'll talk about that special unit a little later, guys.
Indeed we will. Jeannie, great to have you aboard on this New Year's Day. Dennis Franchione, the talk of College Station, Texas, in his second year. 53 years young, out of Cherokee, Kansas, has turned programs around. Stops along the way, including Texas State, New Mexico, TCU, Alabama, and now A&M.
You know, and if you're an A&M fan and you're an Aggie, this is what it's all about, the Cotton Bowl. I mean, every year you try to get to the Cotton Bowl. From the days of the Southwest Conference, that was the bowl game that you wanted to get to. And for Tennessee, if you can't play in the national championship game, this is where they want to come, right here to Dallas, Texas.
Bill Fulmer told us point blank yesterday, you know, all the bowls are great, but as far as the hospitality, as far as the entertainment for his players, the coaches, their families, this is at the top of the list. And what a gorgeous day. Jeannie mentioned very warm temperatures, high humidity, and the winds right now at 12, although they've been picking up to 25.
You know, the last time Tennessee was here 4 years ago, it was a blizzard, it was ice, it was snow, it was freezing. Casey Clausen, the freshman quarterback, struggled today. His brother today gets much, much better temperatures and conditions to play the game. And the field is in perfect condition. Was down there walking on it before kickoff today. Nobody's going to be slipping on that field. It's like a golf green.
The electrifying Lane Newman will kick it away. He's their long field goal kicker and handles kickoff duties. And Gerald Riggs waits for the Volunteers, and we are underway. The 69th SBC Cotton Bowl out of the end zone, and Tennessee will get it beginning at the 20-yard line. Brian talked a short while ago about Rick Clausen, the transfer from LSU. Of course, his brother Casey, a 4-year starter for the Volunteers. He did not play in 6 of the first 8 games. In fact, did not throw a single pass in the only 2 games he played. But then after injuries to Brent Schaefer and Eric Ainge, he took over as a starter. He's gone 2-1. His only loss to Auburn.
Rick Clausen originally signed with LSU, was there during the national championship year a couple of years ago. Played 3 games there and wasn't happy with the situation. He transferred here to where his brother was, and that's been a huge, huge point for him. His brother's really helped him out here to get settled and understand the offense.
He starts out of the shotgun. Quick, safe throw, and it's complete for a short pickup out to the 24 to Chris Brown. A gain of 6. It'll bring up 2nd and 4. Let's meet the Tennessee Volunteers. They've had a lot of injuries up front the entire year. They are without the All-American Michael Munoz, the son of which will alternate. Anderson, the fullback, and Robert Meacham, the redshirt freshman out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. He's a man to keep an eye on. Houston, his first carry, and rumbles across the 30. It's a first down for Tennessee. Texas A&M ranked 59th. A great deal. Lawson throws to the near side. Jason Swain out to the 35.
You know, one thing I always think about on these New Year's Day bowl games and the games that follow is, how do you stay sharp? I mean, the last time Texas A&M played was against Texas the day after Thanksgiving, and that's 5 weeks ago. Tennessee at least played the SEC championship game against Auburn. They lost that game, but they got another game. And so I think they're a little bit better game tested to start today.
First catch of the football by the fullback Corey Anderson, and he is met.
Tight coverage out here, right up on top of a man-to-man.
And they hand it off. Fake the handoff, and then it's thrown away, although a penalty flag is down on the field. Good play. American represented by Bill Algie. And that will move the chains, an automatic first down for the Volunteers.
Offside. Defense. Number 85. The result of the penalty will be a first down.
Well, they keep the drive alive. They're kind of a freebie, and really you want to get that Tennessee into situations on third down when you can get off the field. You don't want to give them another set of downs like this.
Clausen lost down the sideline, had an open receiver, Robert Meacham, and just did overthrow him.
I tell you, you look at Tennessee, they've got 9 receivers, and they all look like they fell out of the same tree. They're all big, all over 6 feet tall, and I think this kid Meacham right here is the best of them. They blitz on the play. Tennessee's there to pick it up, and Meacham looks like he's got an NFL body at age 19 right now. He's 6'3", he's 215 pounds, and I watched him run some routes beforehand. That guy can stop and start with the best of them.
4 wide receivers set for Tennessee on 2nd down and 10. Clausen rolls left, still looking, fires across the middle, good enough for a first down, and more. C.J. Fate sprinting to the corner, touchdown, Tennessee.
Tennessee just shook the tree, and another receiver just fell out by C.J. Fate. They just moved the pocket here. They just moved Clausen here to his left. Nice job of just keeping protection in front of him, and he's just flooding his zone, just seeing where the open guy was in his zone. How costly that offside penalty was by A&M to keep that drive alive on 3rd down.
James Wilhoit with a point after, and it is just good. 57 yards. A touchdown strike from Rick Clausen to the junior C.J. Fate. 7-0 Volunteers.
Here's the touchdown pass. Watch Tennessee just move the offensive line here. And then Clausen, who's the left-hander, comfortable here behind the moving pocket. All he's doing is just finding the open guy in the seam, in the zone right there. C.J. Fate, and now, I mean, it's just Tennessee speed. And all of them can run. C.J. Fate just happened to be the guy on that play. But you want to get the ball in the hands of your playmaker. Really what Clausen is a point guard in this offense. Just distributing the ball to the talented open player.
Fate, an all-academic SEC selection a season ago, getting his 3rd touchdown of the year. The 7, Jason Carter. Number 9, Daquan Mobley. Awaiting a kick from James Wilhoit. This is returnable for Carter. Special teams coverage, and what a lick at the 15-yard line.
Heard that one all the way up here.
So here comes Reggie McNeil, the junior.
This is what he did in high school in Lufkin, Texas. Very familiar, taking the ball 5 yards on the snap here.
Quick throw to Urban Taylor, and the sophomore is out to the 27-yard line. Good enough for a quick first down. A gain of. Boone stunts a tight end in motion, and they hand it to Lewis. And maybe a yard. Jason Allen, the leading tackler in the SEC. McNeil throws to Stutz, his tight end. And Boone, they chant. Out to the 31-yard line. It brings up 3rd down and 6.
Well, if you're defending this offense, you have to defend Reggie McNeil. Here he's taking the ball from the center. Looks like it's going to be an option, but now I guess that means a lot of different things.
Well, as the Duke
Hands in, hands.
You knew that one. Dumped off to Lewis.
Good looking screen.
A lot of room to go. Crosses midfield and taken down at the 45-yard line. Up on the completion to Lewis. First down in Tennessee territory. Quick throw, and again, it's Urban Taylor.
Thing that they try to do. It's about 3 offenses combined in one.
McNeil really a microcosm of this entire A&M team. You saw his numbers a season ago. His first year as a starter. An unbelievable improvement this year. Rolling, still looking, evades 1 tackle. And maybe a penalty. Yep, there it is.
coordinator. They work in collaboration. It all goes through Coach Fran. Here's the pitch.
Option. And the ball comes loose. And did Tennessee get it? Yes, they did. Kirk McBride falls on the football after the pitch to Courtney Lewis.
That is only their 9th turnover all year. They take care of the football, but this one is just a little bit careless. Here's another example. I mean, McNeil feels the pressure. He pitches it to Lewis, and not a good handle on that ball.
A rare turnover indeed for A&M. Tennessee gets it back, leading by 7. Welcome back to the 69th SBC Cotton Bowl. A rare turnover indeed for the Aggies. That is their 9th this season.
Here we go.
And what a turnaround as far as the turnover takeaway ratio is concerned for the Aggies this season. They turned it over 30 times last year. Tennessee gets it back. Lawson again out of the shotgun, fires to Chris Hannon, the junior out of Sarasota, Florida. Pick up a 9.
Well, you want to know how Coach Fran turns a program around. It's a pretty good formula, but the most important statistic is turnover.
Twice this season. They had never gone back-to-back games in 100 years of football without turning it over before this year. That carry good enough for a first down by the senior Cedric Houston, who needs 57 yards to become the first runner since Kurt Watson back in the late 60s and early 70s at Tennessee to lead the Volunteers in rushing 3 consecutive years. He has to go by Gerald Riggs.
Yeah, you know, and for Cedric Houston, he's a senior. This is the last game. We talked to a bunch of the seniors just yesterday. They said they're tired of talking about this being their last game. They know it is. They want to go win a bowl game. They've lost their last 2. They want to go out here a winner here in Tennessee.
They hand it to Meacham on the end around, and he carries out close to midfield. Well, the Volunteers, we mentioned, began the year using the freshman quarterback duo of Brent Schaefer and Eric Ainge. Got out to a 7-2 record. Losses against Auburn. Boy, they were hammered the first go-round against the Tigers. And then a stunning loss to Notre Dame in Knoxville.
Yeah, at home. And that's the day that Eric Ainge, freshman quarterback, got hurt on the last play of the first half. At halftime, you know, separated shoulder. He comes out, and Rick Clausen has taken over since then.
Second down and 3. Clausen again. Dangerous throw, and he is lucky that Eric Mays, a redshirt freshman, didn't take it the other way for 6. On Clausen as he threw. Clausen looking to the sideline, changing the play.
These are silent signals now. You can't hear over this Aggie crowd in here.
And I think
just trying to listen to what was going on.
Lawson rolls on 3rd and 8. Wait, fires a strike to Jason Swain. A first down conversion to the 41.
And I tell you, the toughest thing for a left-handed quarterback is to roll to his right here, get his shoulders square, get his feet set, and then throw a strike like this. He had to throw this ball low to Swain. He went down for it, right in front of the sticks. That's a heck of a throw. Swain just, you see, he's not really running that hard. He's just running to the open spot there and timing that throw up. Why? Look like they're having trouble just conveying these signals here.
Picking his way down to the 39. First carry for Gerald Riggs Jr. Boy, was his daddy a player in the NFL, and his son having a breakthrough junior season for the Volunteers.
Yeah, it really has. And, you know, they rotate backs. I mean, Gerald went over 1,000 yards this year, really came on this season, stayed healthy this year, really got into the flow of things. And I think it helped the fact that they had freshman quarterbacks here to start the season, and Gerald's a veteran, and Houston's a veteran. I think they put it on their shoulders to carry a lot of this load as these freshmen got acquainted here with the SEC.
Riggs will get it again. And again, not much room.
There it is. A nice hefty 16.5-yard average every time he touched it in the running game.
3rd and 6, they need to get to the 31. Lawson throws it back the other way. Catch made, and getting a first down is Chris Brown. Second catch for Brown, who only had 4 receptions the entire year.
This is a good setup, and it takes a long time to set this up because you want all of A&M to go this way with the flow. Watch, I mean, Clausen already completed a touchdown pass in this type of play here, rolling to his left, and now the throwback here. So he had to kind of jump in that throw. He had a kind of little hump to it, you know, to get that thing across the field. That was a Brock Newton saving touchdown tackle right there.
Incomplete on the throw to C.J. Faton. Clausen coming off an encounter with Auburn, arguably the best defensive team in the country this year. Clausen threw to for just 69 yards in that SEC championship. You see his numbers already today.
Well, you know, the thing that's impressive is how quickly he's getting the ball out of his hands. I mean, A&M, whether they want to blitz or Mike Montgomery wants to rush the passer, they can't get there as quickly as he's getting rid of the football right now. Looks like Peyton Manning down there, doesn't it? I mean, just giving out all the signals, talking to all of his linemen.
Rigg buried at the line of scrimmage.
Less than 27 hours.
Brent Schaefer, the freshman quarterback, has come in for the first time since he left the game against South Carolina with a broken collarbone, a game in which Schaefer came off the bench, leading the Volunteers to a win. He started the first 3 games of the year. They went 3-0 with him at quarterback.
Well, he's a quick guy, and he has the running element to the game, and that's why he was in there. I mean, he was trying to get A&M up the field on 3rd and long, and then he was going to run a quarterback draw, be able to bring him down. This is his first action since he got hurt against South Carolina.
A 42-yard field goal try for James Wilhoit, who hit on 9 of 15 during the season, 2 of 6. From outside of 40.
Carolina and the New Orleans Saints now. I mean, everybody's writing off the Saints. You know, they're sort of like the big underdogs going into tomorrow, but another great season in the NFL. And it always seems like it comes down to the final game, the final minutes of the final game. A lot of playoff spots at stake for tomorrow.
Number of teams trying to earn their way in, others trying to win and then get a lot of help.
Carolina started the season 1-7, trying to finish up 7-1.
Play fake. And McNeil looking to cut it back upfield. Ducks in between a couple of tacklers and loses the football. And it's recovered by Tennessee. A team which fumbled the ball 5 times the entire year. 8 turnovers the entire year in 11 games. 2 possessions, 2 turnovers today, and McNeil is shaken up.
Yeah, and worse than this fumble right here is the injury status right now of Reggie McNeil. And this is always the danger when you have a quarterback that has the ball in his hands every play. And you've got Turk McBride and that defensive line coming after him. Took his helmet off first. Has had a bad shoulder this season. Hurt the shoulder against Baylor. Has had that thing surgically repaired. Boy, I don't know if he wasn't down there when that ball came out.
McBride stripped it. Campbell covered it up. And now the Volunteers in business at the 28-yard line. Clausen looking for 6. And miscommunication with his receiver, Jason Swain, who had the entire A&M secondary behind him.
Yeah, you know, Clausen knows it because Swain knew that he was running free through that secondary. And Clausen knew that he had a chance for a quick 6. And that's exactly what you want to do after a turnover, in my mind, is get aggressive on offense. Go make that team pay for the penalty. And I like when teams get aggressive after something like that.
Second and 10, Faton in motion, and again, Clausen to throw. He's looking for Faton, and he finds him down to the 16. Another first down for the Volunteers.
What's been impressive here, Tom, is how much they move Clausen to the right as well to the left, especially for a young quarterback that is left-handed. This is just a regular play-action fake here. He gets out. He gets his feet set. Gets his feet set to avoid the blitz right there, and then to be able to find his target and then throw it.
Under 5 minutes to play here in the opening quarter. 7-0 Tennessee. First and 10 at the A&M 16, and Clausen.
Wow.
Finds Swain, who breaks one tackle and then is wrapped up at the 11, a gain of 5.
Look at this one-handed catch. I mean, these receivers are talented now, and they got a bunch of them, but this was just a one-handed grab. I mean, as nonchalant as you can be. I mean, big, strong hands on him. Watch again how quickly. Here's Swain just from a tight formation, then spread out. Watching those guys just practice one-handed catches in the receiver line before the game today.
Take the handoff, look to the end zone. Touchdown, Tennessee. Corey Anderson, the fullback, his second touchdown reception of the season.
Clausen's playing some great football. As that ball went right over the safety's head, floated that one over there. Seen him throw about every kind of ball here today so far, especially on this last drive. Watch this ball get floated right over the safety's head. Corey Anderson, I tell you, he was a linebacker. They moved him around. They moved the fullback with some injuries this year. At 270 pounds, pretty agile going up for that touchdown catch.
Clausen is hit on 9 of 13, a pair of touchdown throws, 14-0 Volunteers. The SBC Cotton Bowl on Fox is brought. Reggie McNeil clearly shaken up on that A&M sideline, and you got to wonder, Brian, if he's coming back for this next series.
I think he's shooken up. I mean, I think the backup right now, Ty Brannion, is getting himself ready. He has the helmet on. He's got the mouthpiece in. That helmet came off of Reggie McNeil, and I think he got hit in the head. And I don't think the cobwebs are cleared up right now.
What a blow that would be. Nothing against Brannion.
No.
I mean, he's played well this season. In fact, he came on and played the entire fourth quarter against Oklahoma.
Yeah.
But that was his last game action.
He came into that game against Oklahoma. It was a 35-28 game, and they're going up against one of the top 2 or 3 programs in the country, getting his indoctrination.
Line drive kickoff fielded by Jason Carter, and a pretty good seam, and carries out to the 25-yard line. Let's go downstairs. Here's Jeannie Zelasco.
Well, guys, keeping an eye on Reggie McNeil, who is making his way up.
He's getting up, kind of shaking things off, walking it off.
And now he's going to carry. He had an eye on a receiver, but decided not to make that throw. Failed to get back to the line of scrimmage, wrapped up by Antonio Reynolds, a true freshman out of Akron, Ohio.
One thing about all quarterbacks that can run, I mean, we think about Mike Vick and watching him in the NFL, but, you know, whether you're talking about the quarterback at Utah. So far, Tennessee has done a good job of flattening McNeil to the sidelines.
McNeil to throw it. And a catch made by Murphy out to the 31-yard line. Terrence Murphy, the all-time leading receiver in A&M.
And a mature guy. He knows what he's doing on a football field.
Taylor in motion
Hands
on
in.
the 3rd and
There he
5,
is.
and they fire, and it's batted down. Good closing coverage there by Tennessee. Number 36, redshirt freshman Rashawn Fellows.
Sean Fellows covered this perfectly. You see, this is just about a 10-yard out route right here. And Fellows stayed right with them. I mean, Fellows, the redshirt freshman, he was second team All-SEC this year. And, you know, Tennessee has always been loaded at cornerback. They lost a bunch of guys to the NFL this year, and really their cupboard was a little bit bare. But that's why you redshirt guys, you know, you get them on the field and you play against guys like Terrence Murphy every week, you get better.
Jonathan Heffney receives his punt from his 25. Avoids one tackler and then is dropped.
Jonathan Heffney,
The 30 by Byron Jones.
Byron Jones on time.
We caught up with Rick Clausen and asked him about what has been a very odd journey, his first season eligible at the University of Tennessee.
It's gratifying. It just goes to show that anything can happen in football and in sports. And talking to my dad, he said to just, you know, face the adversity head on and try to teach those guys as much as you can. And during the early part of the season, I tried to teach those guys and mentor those guys as much as possible. Because in the long run, it all comes down to winning a football game.
Rick Clausen given a chance. Due to the 2 injuries, he's making the most of it. A win today, and he would finish a year in 4 starts with a 3-1 record, the lone blemish against Auburn. And nobody's beaten that team.
Yeah, you know, this Clausen, you know, he was here 4 years ago in the stands watching his brother. That's his dad right here. His dad is so intense in watching his sons, he can't sit next to his wife and, you know, his other boy that's here watching today. I mean, he wants to stand right behind the end zone there and watch him, study him. And they got a third son at Oaks Christian Academy out in California, just north of Los Angeles. They say he's the best of all the Clausens. Wow.
Cedric Houston nearly broke it for the distance, and you see his frustration.
You call that a pop. He almost popped that one right there. He broke the line of scrimmage, and he got into the secondary right here. Just going to be a quick pop right here. Little inside trap. Good vision to see the hole. One of those deals where you're going to look at that, and he's mad at himself for not picking up his feet just a little bit higher because there was nobody between him and the goal line, and he kept his feet.
Score 14-0 Tennessee, and the total yards reflecting their domination. A couple of A&M turnovers, penalty flag out of the field.
Then you got to put your glove back on, and then you got to do all that in a couple seconds to get ready for the next play.
Sounds pretty complicated.
Oh, it is. He still doesn't have it right.
Well, maybe put a little something on that shoe because he slips a couple of them.
That shoe came off again. He's having problems with the shoe. You know, he's going to have Gerald Riggs come on. He's going to go get that shoe right. He just ran right out of it right here. Broke a tackle. And now all these backs and all these athletes here at Tennessee, they want to get to the outside where there's a lot more room to run.
But Cedric Houston is a load. When he came walking in that meeting with us yesterday, that's a big man.
He's given up on the shoe. He just tossed it aside. Like, I'm coming out of the game because of a shoe on Cotton Bowl day. Forget about it.
Lawson looks one way, throws the other, and again it's C.J. Fagan. And maybe a yard. I beg your pardon, Chris Hannon on the reception. But that one did not fool A&M.
Lawson. So let's throw the ball to the other way and get rid of it quickly. It's a, you know, that's like a pit right there, a pit stop in NASCAR, getting that shoe right.
How long can it take to put on a shoe? That's the end of the first quarter. 14-0 Tennessee. We're back to the SBC Cotton Bowl right after these touchdowns. The SBC Cotton Bowl on Fox is brought to you by the new Singular, raising the bar. By Visa, it's everywhere you want to be. By Elektra, the next movie from the world of Marvel Comics, January 14th only in theaters. And by UPS, what can Brown do for you? Texas State Fairgrounds. The area surrounding the Cotton Bowl, and it's 14-0 Tennessee. As we open the second quarter, and Tennessee a second down and 9 at the A&M 41, looking for more.
They got A&M spread out right now. When they've been doing this, the ball's been getting out of Clausen's hands quick and to the outside to one of these tremendous athletes that Tennessee has.
Lawson. Penalty flag down. The reception made by Cedric Houston out of the backfield at the 36-yard line. But again, a flag.
Keeps you just a little bit sharper, and Tennessee early in this game is sharper.
Every season, Philip Fulmer's been the head coach at Tennessee. They played in a bowl game.
Some record.
6-6 their record in bowl games under Phil Fulmer.
Oh, there's the ball. Pressure got to him that time.
We heard the whistles blow. Just as there was contact, it sounded like being made.
Well, Johnny Jolly got him from the backside. Kickoff today.
They stand ready, the 12th man.
Oh, yeah. It is some kind of tradition. This does feel like an away game for Tennessee.
And the Volunteers are playing like it.
Yeah.
They were an outstanding road team this year.
Go ahead.
Cedric Houston on second down carries to the 48. Back-to-back penalties have taken this drive from the 42 of A&M back across midfield the other way.
Really the best way to kind of quiet a crowd is to run the ball. Just get up there, quick count, take the snap, and hand it off. Very little can go wrong. You've got a 14-0 lead. You don't have to be super aggressive here on 3rd and long. And how long can those lungs hold out for? Can they just do this all game?
Lawson fires just high across the. Khalid Jackson getting a chance to come back and play today after undergoing ankle surgery. He's not played since he got hurt against Kansas State. Tennessee punts for the first time today. Mays dropped it. And another A&M turnover. Their 3rd of the game after turning it over 8 times all year.
And it's a different guy in every one of the turnovers. Like he was in great position. No wind out here today. Calm day to field that punt. Mays looking under. Look how he tripped at the last second trying to get a handle on it. Couldn't come at a worse part of the field.
Corey Larkins.
Just misjudged that ball. That ball hit him up on the shoulder pads. Never came in to what you call the breadbasket. That area right underneath the arms and the hands.
Larkins with a recovery. 1st and goal, Tennessee at the 8-yard line. Houston behind Anderson in the eye. He gets a carry.
Ooh.
And to the corner of the end zone. Touchdown. He broke a pair of tackles, including the normally dependable Jason Appel.
That's their best tackler for an A&M. Houston came in here needing just a little over 50 yards to go over 1,000 yards this season. He looks like he wants to get that in the first half today. Great stop there. To be able to keep going laterally like that, keep the feet moving, and then use that right arm. See that ball's in his left arm? He's using that right arm for violent yards, just as a good stiff arm and keeping the defense off.
Will Hoyt again for the point after, and again it is good. 3 turnovers for A&M. Twice, Tennessee is cashed in with touchdown. And now the Volunteers lead at 21-0.
In this game right now, Tennessee up 21-0. It's been turnovers, unaccustomed turnovers by Texas A&M.
Where's the
Reggie McNeil fumbled on the option. Fumbled by Eric Mays here on a punt return. Tennessee has scored 14 points off of those couple of fumbles. Texas A&M was one of the best teams in the country coming in today and taking care of the football.
Well, coming into the season, the all-time NCAA record turnovers in Division 1A, the number is 8. The last team to do it, the 2001 Notre Dame Fighting Irish, and that was the number A&M was sitting on this year. Tack on 3.
You know, they play that game at the end of every practice, turnover takeaway. You turn the ball over in practice, you run at the end of practice. Those guys hated running. One of the reasons why they were able to hold on to it.
Into the end zone, and Carter will take it 8. Still a long way to go. 21-0 Tennessee, but we've just gotten started here in the second quarter. Happy New Year. The SBC Cotton Bowl on Fox is brought to you by SBC, going beyond the call. Well, we talked a great deal about the A&M faithful in attendance today. Rocky Top travels very well.
Yes, they do. Sea of orange out here. Well, rain was predicted today. You think people would come with rain gear on. You know, it's college football. You know, you just throw a piece of plastic over the head, throw a bow in the hair, throw an A&M hat on. A&M needs to get back into this thing, you know, and they need to get the crowd, just keep the crowd going, keep them hopeful. And in college football, it's all big plays. I mean, there's so many good athletes, seniors against freshmen, you know, big, strong guys against young, you know, redshirt freshmen, and you get mismatches. Well, you get so many big plays. That's what A&M needs right now. They need something in that, just that big play department.
Early movement. Looked like Jamie Hightower, the right tackle, who missed all of last season, was a left tackle his first 2 years. An honorable mention, all Big 12 performer at right tackle this season. They pitch it to Lewis and read beautifully by the Volunteer defense.
The feeling you get if you're Tennessee, you're up 21-0. I mean, you can just take so many more chances. You know, you can really crowd the line of scrimmage. You can guess a little bit more. And that's what it looked like Tennessee did right there in that pitch. I mean, they just all flew to the football.
Omar Gaither, we talked about him getting a chance due to injuries at linebacker. Kevin Simon, of course, went down.
Yep.
A killer injury against Florida. And then very early, Marvin Mitchell gave Gaither the chance, and he has taken advantage of it. 18 tackles in that SEC championship game. McNeil, what move! And was able to pick up 4 or 5 more yards out to the center.
Recognize Tennessee's team's whip is great speed.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
A terrific defense in years to come. It's a very young defense. McNeil fires low. Was it caught by Mobley? Yes, but shy of the first down by 2 yards.
Daquan Mobley here, I mean, he comes back with his football, but really, he's got to know where the sticks are, know where the first down markers are. Tennessee, A&M here has to hang on to this football. Great job of hanging on to that football, taking it right off of the shoelaces, but not enough for the first down.
So 3 and out for A&M. A penalty certainly damaged that drive. Jonathan Hefney stands back at his own 35-yard line. A true freshman out of Rock Hill, South Carolina. Hefney waits for the fair catch and handles it nicely at the 33. 10:39 to play until halftime. All Tennessee thus far at the Cotton Bowl.
Ding.
The previous meeting between Tennessee and Texas A&M. Paul Bear Bryant's final game as head coach of the Aggies. It was a 1957 Gator Bowl. Tennessee backed Bobby Flash Gordon, accounting for 116 yards. Actually ran back a punt return for 82 yards. It was called back. Sammy Burklow, a game-winning 17-yard field goal with 5:30 to go. 3-0. Tennessee won it.
Kind of unbelievable that these two programs have only met one time in really storybook histories.
Rick Clausen off to a terrific start here today, and he's going to put it up again and looking for the long ball. There was contact down there. Robert Meacham looking for a flag. He didn't get it.
I was watching Robert Meacham before the game. I mean, this guy has got some kind of a future, because he might be the best of all the receivers they have here. Physically, the way he catches the football, a deep ball threat right here. And he looks like he's just a natural. The way he catches it, just a straight go route. A little bit of contact there. Probably a good no call on that one.
Meacham reminds many of the former Volunteer wide receiver Kelly Washington, who did not hang around Knoxville very long.
No, he's up there playing for the Bengals right now. In fact, this has been called wide receiver U for a long time.
Gerald Riggs still on his feet, crossing the 40. He tackled at the 41-yard line. It brings up 3rd down and 2.
It's a late call, and I think it's going to be a face mask. They're trying to bring Gerald Riggs down, and I think they got a hold of the mask doing it. You said wide receiver U. It's been running back U in Tennessee as well. I mean, some of the guys, Jamal Lewis, some of the guys, Charlie Garner, that have come through here. Names that you...
There
it is.
number 11 of the defense, 5 yards from the end of the run. The penalty will result in a first down.
Byron Jones.
Yeah, you know, it could be any part of the face mask. It could be top of the helmet there, you know, underneath the chin strap, any part of it there. They're just trying to protect guys from getting their head jerked.
Actually, the officials saying number 11 on the face mask. It was number 10, Justin Warren.
A bit of a bunch formation. That's 3 receivers all clustered together right there.
Free play for Tennessee. And breaking it to the outside is Gerald Riggs, shoved out of bounds now. This penalty undoubtedly will be declined by the Volunteers.
You know, you look at Gerald Riggs and Cedric Houston, 21 and 31. They look almost identical. We were talking to them yesterday. Physically, I mean, both about the same size, 6 foot, 6'1", 220 pounds. When they carry the ball, they're very, very similar in what either one could do.
Number 85.
They have combined for a pile of yards this season. Closing in on 2,000 combined rushing yards for the season.
Yep. I mean, Tennessee, running back, they've never had 2 backs go over 1,000 yards in the same season before.
Make the handoff to Riggs. And then the catch made by the junior Chris Hannon. And he rolls out of bounds at the 28-yard line, a gain of 9.
Nice job going down low for it. Ryan Hannon here, another one of those guys on the outside. You know, Tennessee recruits national. This is a national program. They'll go anywhere to find players. In fact, they've got players from 18 different states on the roster. And so you look down and you see Camden, New Jersey. You know, you see Hawaii. I mean, from everywhere. We're telling those kids, look, you come here, we're going to throw the football. They want to come to Tennessee to play.
Corey Anderson rumbles all the way down inside the 15-yard line. He only had 2 carries all year long. When you brought it up earlier, I mean, this is a young man back in the spring that switched from defensive end to a fullback.
Well, he's got a touchdown catch today. And now this is what you want to see from a rumbling fullback. At 270 pounds, I mean, what you don't see from A&M is anybody wrapping up. You're going to run in and bounce off of Corey Anderson now if you don't wrap him up.
Anderson out of Austin East High School in Knoxville, Tennessee. Lawson again to throw. Wide open receiver. Touchdown Volunteers. Tony Brown. His 3rd touchdown reception of the year.
He's their leading receiver for the Vols. He's probably wondering when he was going to get involved today.
And so far, a fanny whipping going on here at the SBC Cotton Bowl.
Well, Rick Lawson having a day here in a bowl game that his brother wished he would have had, you know, during his tenure here. Nearly flawless throwing the ball around the ball yard today.
Lawson 12 of 18, 155 yards, 3 touchdown throws so far, and we still have 8:54 to play in the 2nd quarter. Lawson saying to Philip Fulmer, don't forget about me looking ahead to next year. $8:54 to play until halftime in Dallas, Texas. Here's wishing you and yours a happy, healthy 2005. Pretty healthy New Year's Day thus far for those who root for the Tennessee Volunteers.
It's like the A&M players might have been watching the ball drop last night.
Because they've been dropping it today.
Yeah, they have. I never understood standing in Times Square watching the ball drop. I mean, because after it drops, what do you do? I mean, where do you go?
Now, see, I am stunned. Of all the people that I know in this world, I would think that at least one time, you're a guy who likes to get out, a man of adventure, so you've done it.
I've done it. So you're out there, and you're wall-to-wall people. You're packed in like sardines, and you watch the ball drop, and then you just, okay, now what? You know, I mean, that's what you do. I mean,
well, what did you do?
I went out. But, I mean, you got to get through the crowd.
Andy Sanders has to be so pleased with this Tennessee offense. And taking a knee is Jason Carter. You were starting to talk about Tennessee and, in fact, A&M and how they recruit.
Yeah, really. I mean, you know, from Hawaii to California to Oregon, all the way through the South, and then up into New York and New Jersey. I mean, they'll go anywhere to get players, and players want to come to Tennessee because really I think Peyton Manning kind of made this thing kind of mushroom in that when they saw the offense, the style of play, I mean, it's so geared towards the pro game, the formations, you know, what the wide receivers do, the guys that they put into the pros. I mean, guys want to come there to Rocky Top to play. Philip Fulmer does a great job of getting everybody involved and a part of it as well.
DeQuan Mobley makes a reception, still on his feet. Good pickup out to the 33-yard line.
You know, there they are, 9 players. You know, you get a player from Tonga. You know, it's Texas, and that's why this game is so big. I mean, it really serves the alumni base here, and it's a great recruiting tool.
Courtney Lewis stopped at the 35-yard line. You know, we talked to Dennis Franchione about this state of Texas. Of course, over 1,300 high schools in the state that play football.
Yeah.
Over 300 players.
He knows how competitive that whole thing is for players here in the state. But, I mean, I don't know if any other state has 300 Division I players a year.
Jason Carter still on his feet, and he slammed out of bounds a yard short of a first down.
Players in every little crevice there. You know, their network is strong in Tennessee, but it goes into North Carolina and down into Alabama. Certainly the tentacles reach far and wide.
Boy, they had an open receiver, Terrence Murphy, on 3rd down and 1.
I think they got to go for this here, too. I mean, this is 4th down and 1. They missed that shot to Murphy there, but I don't think you can punt this ball. Here's what Reggie McNeil's been up. Got his hat taken off there. Missed a couple shots to Terrence Murphy.
I just don't understand that call. I mean, you're down 28-0. You need to start picking up some first downs and getting some points.
Hang on to the football.
Now Jacob Young will punt once again for A&M, and again it's Jonathan Heffning back at the 15-yard line. Timeout call.
Something like this has happened to A&M this season. Last year they had that loss to Oklahoma, 77-0. You know, a year before A&M had beaten Oklahoma, ranked #1 in the country. They came back and put it on them, but since then they've been competitive in their game.
Heffning wrestled down to the 19-yard line, 45-yard punt. We've heard so much about the tradition of the 12th man in that tradition.
You ever get called out of the press box? Go suit up time?
I've been asked to get out of the press box. Gerald Riggs out to the 24-yard line. Let's check in downstairs with Jeannie Zalasko.
More on the 12th man. The Fan was once physically represented by the 12. Keep an eye on this walk-on. He makes a tackle and the Cotton Bowl will erupt.
Out to the 26-yard line. Jeannie, thank you very much. And, you know, in the Jackie Sherrill days at one time, he had the entire kickoff coverage team wear number 12.
Yeah, everybody had 12. I mean, they were all one. Bracket for the Rams. Now a backup safety for them.
They pitch to Houston on 3rd and 2, and he picks up a first down out to the 33-yard line. That was a stop that A&M desperately needed. With 6:21 to play here until halftime, down by 28.
Yes, sir.
The biggest wide receiver I've ever seen on a football field in my life. That's a tight end right there, 315 pounds.
And they open up the field across the middle and all the way down to the 43-yard line is C.J. Fabian.
See right there? That was a great job of decoy by Victor McClure, the tight end. I mean, he rolled the coverage his way.
He's having a hard time getting back to the huddle.
Well, he needs some oxygen. Here's McClure out here now. You're playing defensive back. You're like, wait a second. What happened? How'd that offensive tackle get out there on me? Now he's getting closer to the tackle, more in where he belongs, but he's still not getting down. He's still standing up, looking sweet over there in a 2-point stance.
McClure, a former offensive lineman who moved to tight end this season. Senior out of Hickson, Tennessee.
See, you got to get a little rest there.
That's asking a lot of a big man.
You got to get the water bottle, got to towel him off. He's sucking some oxygen there. They run a lot of those fly routes out there, wide receiver. That tradition continues, you know, when it's 28-0, the tradition continues. That's how you get a good tradition.
I don't know if Victor McClure wants to make a tradition of lining up at the wide receiver spot. The whole Clausen clan has to be very happy about the way things are going for Rick Clausen here today. 3 touchdown throws.
Oh, he's been great. Ball's getting out of his hands fast. He's been accurate. He's made good decisions with the ball. Nice touch there to Corey Anderson. 3 touchdown throws here. The first half isn't over. Remember, we were here, Tom, 4 years ago when his brother Casey really struggled that day against Kansas State. Rick was in the stands that day. And really, you talk about a guy like Rick Clausen, you know, he goes to LSU. And heck, they got a lot of quarterbacks there. He can't get on the field. He's frustrated. Transfers here, sits out, comes in and thinks he's going to have a chance for the start. 2 freshmen start. I mean, you can't get knocked down any lower than that, really, to start what should be your junior year. So to see him play like this and have this kind of success, it's got to be a real gratifying feeling.
Takes a handoff, rolls to the left, and throws. Pass is caught. As fullback Corey Anderson. For more on the Clausens, let's check in with Jeannie Zalasko.
I'm with Kathy Clausen because your husband took one look at this camera and he split. His reputation precedes him, by the way. We're told home games he sits in the end zone. You're not even allowed to go near him.
I don't sit anywhere close to him. He is quite intense during a game. I sit away from him.
All right, so we know that he's a coach inherently, but I guess since he's gone, you're the reason that all your kids are so successful, yes?
Absolutely, right? They all take after their mom.
Very good. And as we talked to some of the Texas A&M players this week, they said, my goodness, a Clausen has been at quarterback Tennessee forever. So should we expect the next one to come along?
Jimmy, well, we'll see. He's still a ways away, a couple more years, and then we'll see where he wants to do.
All right.
Him and Casey.
I'm going to get up so that your whole family can reunite. Thanks. Happy New Year.
Jeannie, thank you very much. Absolutely, they're like mom. Are you kidding me? There's no doubt about that.
My mom put 3 boys in the NFL. My mom went to the store every single day. And it got so bad that she started hiding food, but we knew where all the hiding spots were. I wonder if she's doing that.
Good coverage that time. Eric May, step for step with Chris Hannon. Penalty flag is down, but it's against Tennessee. After Jeannie said adios.
Personal foul, number 72 of the offense. Penalized 15 yards from the previous spot. Repeat, second down.
There's the reaction from Rick's father in the stands after that. A little perplexed. How many times he stands up and sits down like that? Maybe he should just be like an A&M fan, just stand up the whole time.
He's still about 4 rows behind his bride. Second and 25 after the penalty. Heavy pressure. Clausen took a look, a lick. And he's able to complete the pass to Cedric Houston. He picks up maybe 2.
Tell you one thing about Rick Clausen today, he's taking some shots now. He's showing some good toughness here, even on this screen right here. setting that thing up. He takes a hit from the backside. Don't see that all very often. Hands down to side, doing a belly slide, trying to break the fall. 3rd and long here. Got some speed outside if he wants to go deep. I see Brett Smith all the way up to the top. A&M going to come with some pressure.
Boston to throw it. And Tennessee will have to punt it away.
Yeah, one of the few misreads there by the quarterback Clausen and one of the wide receivers. I was watching Rick Clausen at practice at Texas Stadium on Thursday, and you talk about loose now. I mean, I've never seen a quarterback have so much fun in practice, and there's a lot on him. I mean, you could say that, oh, you know, I can just be a point guard and pitch around. You play quarterback at Tennessee, and you're following the footsteps of a T. Martin who won a national championship, a Peyton Manning, and Andy Kelly, a long-time career in the Arena League. You know, a Casey Clausen, your brother. I mean, there's a lot of pressure there in that position.
Heath Schuler, former #1 draft pick by the Washington Redskins.
They got a lot of people in those stands at Neyland Stadium that think they know a lot about quarterbacking too as well.
Well, you better believe that. Well, tomorrow, Fox NFL.
Still a lot of things can happen.
McNeil on the option, pitches to Jason Carter, and he cuts it back the other way. Broke a couple of tackles and gains 9 out to the 29-yard line.
John Chavis said that this Tennessee defense has as much speed as any team he's ever had. Watch this. I mean, here comes McNeil now. He's on a late pitch. Now you got to come back. Now the ball gets reversed here. And look at guys waiting for him. I mean, that's a bad feeling. You think you reverse the field. You're huffing and puffing trying to get in the corner, and 2 guys waiting for you out there.
That was a similar play we saw the other night by the unbelievable freshman Ted Ginn Jr. at Ohio State. He broke a play back like that the other way.
Ohio State jumped out early in that bowl game.
Got all over Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State put on a 5 performance last year here. You know, right here in the Cotton Bowl. Eli Manning had an MVP afternoon. Ole Miss went on to beat Oklahoma State, but that was a good performance by them.
Closing in on 2 minutes to play until halftime, and A&M desperately in need of points, trailing 28-0. McNeil in trouble, down he goes. Justin Harrell and Jason Hall converging on the sack of McNeil.
Well, this is just a double stunt inside here. I mean, you're just going to get twists coming like this. Here comes the end inside. Just trying to get one guy free on a straight drop back pass. McNeil never got a chance to really get his feet set.
Second and 20. McNeil steps up, fires across the middle. And the catch is made all the way out to the...
And that's exactly what McNeil was able to find. Look at the guys all looking at their wristbands. He's yelling out numbers as to what play they're playing to.
By Irvin Taylor, perhaps better than he did, probably. The clock would have continued to run unless they had to waste a timeout.
Now, all the wide receivers have wristbands on their right.
1:01 to play until halftime. Dropped off to Jason Carter. He's still on his feet, but only a gain of 4. And A&M will spend a timeout. 52 ticks remaining here in the second quarter. I'd like to remind you, coming up at halftime, you'll see 2 of the most tradition-rich college bands in the country. Tennessee's Pride of the Southland and A&M's Fighting Texas Aggie Band. Plus, we'll have highlights from other New Year's Day bowls around the nation. Terrific bowls on tap later tonight, including the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, Well, you talk about two programs locking up there, Michigan and Texas.
Texas, longtime member here, performer here in the Cotton Bowl. You know, you see the marching band there. I always, maybe I'm old-fashioned, Tom, but I always liked watching a band at halftime.
Yep.
See what they were performing, what they were going to make, how they were going to draw something up, what the theme was at halftime. I've always enjoyed it, whether I was live or watching on television, watching the band at halftime. We've got a couple of the best here this afternoon.
Without a doubt.
A&M would like to strike up their band here with less than a minute to go.
Ready for that. 52 seconds left until halftime. And McNeil operates out of the shotgun. That one thrown high, and looking for the flag was Irvin Taylor. The flag that never came.
Watch this, Jeff. You know, you're up 28-0. You're a defensive lineman. You change your stance. You get yourself in a track stance. You get the butt up high here. See this? When they're standing up like that, they're not going to defend the run like that. They're coming out of blocks. You know, they're coming out on a 100-yard dash right here. And you're an offensive lineman. You see that stance? You're like, oh, goodness. They're coming now.
A&M will be forced
Nothing to my
to punt it away. Boy, the numbers are staggering in this first half. A game which saw Texas A&M favored by a field goal against Tennessee. Volunteers with 17 first downs, A&M only 6. And time of possession, 19 minutes nearly for Tennessee. Just over 10 for A&M.
Yeah, you say all those stats, and that's all true, Tom, but it's the 3 fumbles. You know, they got 14 points off the fumbles, and you fumble the ball, you give the ball away. You give Philip Fulmer and that offense another at-bat, and you take the ball away from McNeil. And so it's hard to get a rhythm, and all those things kind of steamroll sometimes.
Well, A&M is playing in this Cotton Bowl for the 8th time in the last 20 years. Their last win was against a Fighting touchdown.
That was Jackie Sherrill that hoisted up there. That was Jackie coaching those 3 Cotton Bowl teams. He was watching the A&M practice over at SMU just the other day. Still a legend on the campus of Bryan, Texas.
Well, Dennis Franchione, certainly some work to do at halftime. As Steve Turing and always Brian mentioned, 3 times in his first half after committing just 8 turnovers all year long. Let's send it downstairs to Jeannie Zalasko.
Yeah, not a bad half. You took the words right out of my mouth. 2 standout running backs. We're used to seeing a very balanced offense from your club, but Rick Clausen's arm really getting workout. Speaking to his poise and the confidence you have in him.
Rick's done a great job for us in the games that he started, and obviously having a great day today. You've got to keep the balance somehow, you know, keep it going, run that clock some now, and hopefully get a few more points.
Surprised what you've seen from the other side. Just real quickly here, this is a team that handles the ball very well. Is it your defense or their yips?
Well, it's probably both. Everybody's had a long layoff during the bowl games. We had a chance to play in the championship game. That sometimes makes a difference. But whatever it is, I hope it continues.
Thank you, Coach. Guys?
Jeannie, thank you. That's the end of the first half of the SBC Cotton Bowl, 28-0. Stay tuned for our halftime coverage, beginning with a Tennessee band right after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. The pride of the Southland, Tennessee's 330-member marching band under the direction of Dr. Gary Sousa. Stay tuned for our halftime coverage. Next up, the Fightin' Texas Aggie marching band right after these words.
Paris and Nicole.
And what you hope when you play that kind of a schedule and then you get to the Cotton Bowl is that's tested you. And that's toughened you, and that's gotten you ready for the type of speed and athletes that they're seeing from Tennessee today. But I really believe that the hardest thing to do in college football is go from the end of the season, which for them was Thanksgiving weekend, and get yourself and try to stay sharp for 5 weeks getting ready for a bowl game.
Which, of course, begs a question, and it's one of the most debated topics there is in all of sports, pro or collegiate, about the idea of some kind of tournament for a national championship in college football. When you have all that time, and some might say you study, let's be honest about it, most of the time the kids are out of school for Christmas break or Thanksgiving break, because that one sails into the end zone. And A&M will get it on the 20. We look at some of the numbers in the first half, individually, starting with McNeil.
Well, I think this is the shock right here. I mean, Reggie McNeil is a two-way force, and he's got 2 rushing yards in that first half. And so he's the guy that is the ignition switch for this entire team. And Reggie has to get himself going. Now, it's hard. You're coming out of the tunnel here. Yeah, you feel like you've embarrassed your fans. You don't feel good about your performance, and you gotta flush that. You gotta come out here and take charge here to start this third quarter. We'll find out a lot about Reggie McNeil right now.
They start on the ground with Courtney Lewis, and he maybe gained a yard. Gang tackled shy of the 21, led by Tony McDaniel, a sophomore out of Columbia, South Carolina.
There's a lot of good athletes up front there. They've got a junior college transfer, Jesse Mahalona, in the middle of that defensive line. I mean, he wreaked havoc in the Southeast Conference this year. You know, they keep a stat in college: tackles behind the line of scrimmage, tackles for a loss. And really, a tackle for a loss to a running back is like a sack to a quarterback. It's a negative play.
Couple of fake handoffs, and now McNeil will tuck it under his arm. Sprint to the sideline, broke a tackle, and picks up a first down out to the 31. So a good way to get it started for A&M.
Well, you know, any quarterback, I don't care if it's Mike Vick or if it's Reggie McNeil, any quarterback that likes to run, and it's a part of his game, really sometimes running is what jump starts the passing part of it. You get into a rhythm, you start feeling like an athlete, you're making first downs, you're holding on to the ball, and that there he is in the pocket, just making people miss, and now he just turns into the athlete that he is.
Gain of 10, first down for A&M out to the 31.
There we go.
Double reverse. And scrambling across midfield and breaking it is Thomas. Terrence Thomas caught from behind all the way to the 15-yard line.
That is not a trick play in the A&M playbook. That is part of the offense. This is what they do. Nice job here of misdirection, getting the receiver involved here in the play. Coming around here from the slot. McNeil gets out front. He gets a block. Got Hangardner out there. Good block by Terrence Murphy. Picking up a convoy on the way down the sideline.
His 4th carry of the year, by far his season long. And now it's first down at the 15, right back to Lewis, and he is stung at the line of scrimmage by Kevin Burnett, the fifth-year senior out of Carson, California, who in 2002 in the opening game on August 31st of that year injured his knee against Wyoming, which wiped out his entire year, a year they felt he would become another one of the great linebackers in Tennessee history. He came back last year and an All-American candidate this year.
Not only that did he come back, he's also already graduated. You know, he's taking grad school courses right now. Smart guy, and said if football doesn't work out, he's ready to move on.
Inside handoff to Jason Carter. He steps out of bounds at the 12 and bring up third down for the Aggies.
Yeah, you know, Kevin Burnett, he came back from that injury too. I mean, you know, one of those guys that has great speed and can go and flow sideline to sideline. I think of, there he is, reads the play, sees the misdirection here, and now it's beat that guy to the sideline, get there and get in position to go make the play.
Burnett extremely vocal after the first loss against Auburn. He said the better team didn't win that game. Well, they locked up again, and Auburn beat them again. McNeil.
Oh, he's got
it. And then a pretty good open field tackle there at the 7-yard line. And again, it was Burnett who kept McNeil shy of the first down. Are you down 28-0? Do you take the 3 or do you go for it here?
I would go. I mean, I would tee it up and put the ball in McNeil's hands and come up with one of those plays that Tennessee hasn't seen yet. And I think McNeil right there is too worried about breaking down and making somebody miss rather than just outrunning it. You stop your feet against this Tennessee defense, they're going to keep coming on.
Fourth down and a yard. A&M 7 of 17 converting on fourth downs this year. They run the option. And McNeil will keep it, and he's dragged down shy of the first down by Jason Mitchell, the junior inside linebacker who moved inside from outside early in the year.
This is a great play by the middle linebacker, because McNeil could have pitched this, but he thought he could turn this up. Never felt Mitchell coming from behind him.
28-0 Tennessee after a 4th-and-1 defensive stand. Taking away hopes of points for the first time today for the Aggies. And Tennessee gets the football back. Their first possession of the second half. Rick Clausen coming off a terrific first half, hitting on 15 of 22 for 192 yards, 3 touchdown passes. And they hand it off to Cedric Houston on first down. Let's go downstairs to Jeannie Salasco.
Well, Tom, this is the SBC Cotton Bowl, so that means it has been a pretty busy week for President and CEO Bill Blaze. Let's get you out of the way here, sir, so you don't get run over. That's what's most important. Happy New Year, sir.
Same to you, Jeannie. I want to thank everybody at Fox and the Cotton Bowl Committee for just another outstanding week. Nobody puts on a bowl game better than Fox, and we're just so proud to be associated with you. You know, we've been sponsoring the Cotton Bowl for many years, and we're really proud of what it does for education in our community here in Dallas. Over 3/4 of every dollar invested in the game goes right back to the schools of the SEC and the Big 12. And the city of Dallas gets close to a $90 million shot in the arm from the game, so we think that's both pretty special.
Your support of this bowl, this tremendous bowl, has been so evident, but you're making some other headlines these days.
Well, we're just proud at SBC to be a leader in the technology in our industry, to the point now where we are the majority owner of the largest wireless provider in the United States, Singular Wireless. We also have the largest broadband DSL business with over 5 million subscribers nationwide. And we have about 5,000 Wi-Fi hotspots now in the United States. And we're really looking forward to 2005. We're going to be rolling out what we call Project Lightspeed, which will take fiber optics a lot closer to our customers so we can provide voice, video, and high-speed internet all over an IP backbone. It's going to be real exciting, and we're looking forward to serving our customers.
All right, once again, Happy New Year, and don't go too far because we've got a trophy to give out in a little bit.
Thank you, Jeannie. We look forward to it.
Guys?
Jeannie, thank you very much. SBC indeed does such a fabulous job putting together as a title sponsor of this Cotton Bowl, the 69th edition. We had a wonderful time at the luncheon yesterday. Both teams were on hand. Nearly 3,500 people in attendance for that luncheon yesterday. And Cedric Houston, who limps off the field after a hard tackle by Jackson Appel, has gone over 1,000 yards, joining his teammate Gerald Riggs Jr., each running for over 1,000 yards this year. First time that's happened in UT history.
Yeah, I think it was the hardest hit he took all year to gain that 1,000 yards as well.
Appel had to leave the game also, by the way, after that hit. Now Gerald Riggs will carry out to the 25-yard line.
No, you can't have 2,000-yard rushes in a season without having quality offensive linemen. You know, they're always the last to get talked about. But that Rob Smith there, the left guard, he's the only lineman that has started every game in the same position there at left guard. And he's one of those guys that a lineman should look up to because he plays the game the right way. He plays it hurt. He plays it with snot coming out of his nose. You know, sometimes, you know, how many days can you go without showering? I mean, he enjoys being down there in the pits and being the leader of that.
Well, you probably know the answer to that question.
How many days can you go?
Yeah, without showering.
We have crazy contests. We don't get the glory in the end zone. We got to find our own way to kind of get ourselves excited.
So what's your record then?
Well, you know, I've gone 4 or 5 days before.
I know.
2 days.
How about the last 4 or 5?
You know, how nasty can you go? 2 days is the nastiest time of the year. I don't care if you're in college, if you're in Pop Warner, if you're in the pros. I mean, that Rob Smith there, you know, a kid out of Kentucky, he just looks like a lineman. I mean, and you always got to have the tough guy as the leader, the guy that's not afraid to get dirty, the guy that's not afraid to go out there and tape up the hands.
Michael Munoz helped recruit Rob Smith. Fort Thomas, Kentucky, just across the river from Cincinnati, Munoz hometown. Out of the I formation, they'll give it to Riggs. And he has a first down out across the 30. Where every time Tennessee needs to make a play, today the Volunteers have made it.
Yeah. You know, Aaron Sears, the guy at left tackle, might be their most talented lineman. You know, he was their right tackle to start the season when they had Michael Munoz at left tackle. And he had to move. In fact, he's played 4 different positions so far this year. Michael Munoz right there.
Well, what a terrific young man. I've had the pleasure of knowing his entire family for many, many years. A 2004 Dratty Trophy winner, the academic Heisman in college football. He's already graduated. He's working on his master's degree, recently married. And the catch is made by Meacham out across the 35-yard line. Clock continuing to run, and now to stop it with 8:14.
I don't think we should just gloss over that Dratty Trophy that Michael Munoz won, because that is all athletes in all sports in the whole country, and he won the award. Not just football, I mean all the college sports. He was named the Scholar Athlete. And so while he was an All-American offensive player, you know, offensive tackle, remember when he gave that Hall of Fame induction speech for his father? You know, out there in Canton, I mean, just waxed eloquent then, but to be able to combine both, and the commitment to Tennessee football is as big as there is, and still to be able to do the academics. There he is.
There's Michael at 11 years old. He was with us for a broadcast in the NFL on Fox our first year when he was about 14. And back then, as he began playing at Moeller High School in Cincinnati, he was going about 6'3", 260.
Yeah, he's like a lot of the linemen, you know, well over 300 pounds right now. Much bigger sweatsuit now than when you had him up in the booth 10 years ago.
The penalty pushes it across midfield. First down throw for Clausen. Wide open is Meacham all the way down to the 38. Pickup of 19 yards.
You know, Rick Clausen, now he's thrown a lot of balls to the sideline and bootlegs. This is an NFL throw. This is drop back here out of the shotgun. Look off to your right and then throw that ball right over the middle. And you don't see a lot of college quarterbacks that don't have a great deal of experience wanting to throw the ball over the middle because it's dangerous and bodies flying around and the ball gets bounced and flipped and tipped and all those kind of things. And that was a good throw. Those are some good numbers. No interceptions, no turnovers. Been the leader out there today, capitalized off the turnovers. I mean, Tennessee is having one of their better days this season. I thought the best game they played all year was that win against Georgia this year. I mean, that was a good football team, talented football team, and they played great that day, but this is every bit of that performance that they had against the Bulldogs.
There's the Bulldogs playing today. We showed you some of their highlights from the opening half. Lawson fires too long on a second down throw. It'll bring up third.
I don't think you can underscore the importance of what Peyton Manning has meant to the University of Tennessee program. I mean, you know, everybody's talking about him in the NFL, and rightfully so. But if you're a kid that's being recruited out of high school right now, and Philip Fulmer talks about Peyton Manning and how he still talks to him 1 or 2 times a week. This guy was a scholar athlete, you know, built this program up. And Philip Fulmer says, you know, as much as we talked about him as a football player, the way that he presents himself on television, the way he carries himself, I mean, that's just an incredible role model, something to look up to.
Loss into the end zone. Contact made, no flag.
Ah, there it is.
Yep, there it is. Looked like Justin Warren just ran over the intended receiver. And pass interference undoubtedly will be the call.
Tennessee's not changing a thing. You know, they've got great balance. Philip Fulmer talked about that. Stay with the balance.
Defense, number 10. Penalized 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Right there, C.J. Phaeton thought he was going to get a second touchdown catch of the year. Contact while that ball's in the air. Pretty easy throw for a flag.
You know, it's interesting, and obviously you're well aware, we've talked about this during the week, and the importance of Peyton Manning, as you were talking about. Of course, the irony of the entire Peyton Manning era at Tennessee, as sensational as it was, and he won every award there was to win except for the Heisman, is the fact that when he left, T. Martin was the man who led them to Phil Fulmer's only national championship in 1998.
That was the following year.
At the 13-yard line.
If he did it,
Iowa an early lead over LSU. That one just underway at the Capital One Bowl in Orlando. Riggs able to carry inside the 10 down to the 8-yard line. Riggs will be back next year. Cedric Houston graduates.
Receivers outside of Tony Brown all coming back. Fullback coming back. Young offensive lineman getting experience. Look out in the SEC. You know, and really the SEC, and the face just keeps changing. You know, Steve Spurrier coming to South Carolina.
Urban Meyer now in Florida.
At University of Florida. We'll see what happens at LSU here in the next few days.
Again, Riggs breaks it to the outside. Touchdown, Gerald Riggs. 9-yard touchdown run. 6th rushing touchdown of the year for one of the 2 1,000-yard rushers for Tennessee.
Well, we're talking about the great talent that Tennessee has, but I think the thing that just keeps showing up here, and what the A&M fans don't want to see, is the speed difference between these two teams. Whether it's Riggs or Houston or Phaeton or one of the other receivers. I mean, they're just beating the Aggies to the corners and to the edges all day.
Will Hoyt to make it 35-0 with 6:04 to play. Riggs coming off that electrifying performance in the SEC championship game. His first touchdown today. Dennis Franchione and the Texas A&M Aggies trailing 35-0 with 6:04 to play in the third quarter. Certainly not indicative of the kind of season it has been for A&M.
Looking at Dennis Franchione, you know, he's gone to his own play chart here. See, it was just all under wax and everything. Now he's got a portable one. You know, he's got the yellow folder out there now. He's drawing up new plays because when it's 35-0, you gotta throw the original game plan out. You gotta come up with something new.
Hoyt kicks it away. Carter 5 yards deep in the end zone, gonna bring it out. And he's tackled at the 16-yard line. So we'll step out. As we understand now, a penalty flag has come in, so stay with us momentarily if you would.
Dead ball. Personal foul. Number 23. Team penalized. Automatic. First down.
Corey Larkins. Let's take a look. Oh, yeah. Pretty weak. Through nearly 3 quarters, a 35-0 lead for the Volunteers.
I saw an amazing statistic on Tennessee the other day, Tom. They're 52-4 when they run for over 200 yards. You know, and they're having a big day here today running the football. I mean, you always put up those stats, and some of them are, trying to decipher. That one is hardcore. You know, Tennessee wins when they can pound the football, and they've got 2 backs that can do it.
McNeil throws to the senior Terrence Murphy. Ball squirts loose, but it went out of bounds. Maintaining possession is A&M.
That's that Rashawn Fellows. He's had a good day out there. You know, and the last time Rashawn played was in the SEC championship game, and he struggled that day. I mean, Auburn got a couple of big plays on him, and really Philip Fulmer thought that maybe they were putting too much on him. You know, they're still just a freshman, first year out there, but he stepped up here today.
The Fulmer still said he very much believes that Fellows is his best cover corner, and he's in for a big future. Throw to Keith Joseph, playing in his final game as an Aggie, has already earned his degree. Senior out of Houston, Texas, and he was the academic award winner at our luncheon yesterday for student athlete at A&M.
I talked to him yesterday. I was sitting next to him up on the banquet table, and I was just asking him about, you know, he's got his degree and pro aspirations, and he wants to play. He said that he wants to lose about 15, 20 pounds and try to make it as a running back in the NFL. And like all these kids that, you know, probably aren't going to be a first or second round pick.
Yes, sir.
He's excited about going to play special teams, be on the nut squad covering kicks at the NFL level.
Good protection. And it's incomplete. Would have been shy of the first down by a yard.
I think Reggie McNeil wants to wake up here and try this all over again.
Yep.
You know, you get out of bed sometimes on New Year's Day, and, you know, it's just not right. I think he wants to, like the number 1 on his jersey, like to try this one all over again.
It's not the Reggie McNeil that opponents saw during the Big 12 during the regular season. For those of you that weren't with us very early this morning, he ranked 6th nationally in total offense per game, nearly accounting for 300 yards per contest.
Yeah, I mean, he was a dual threat. I mean, every time he touched the ball, you weren't really sure what he was going to do. Watching him on tape, and don't take anything away from what Tennessee has done, bottling him up here today.
Jonathan Hefty carries out to the 40. And with 5 minutes to play in the third quarter, it's a 35-0 Tennessee lead. A flag comes in on the play. And Phil Algie, our referee from the Mid-American Conference, a busy fella here today.
Dead ball. First late hit. Number 1 of the kicking team. Penalized 15 yards. Automatic first down.
Last 2 punts, we've had personal fouls. One against Tennessee and this one on A&M. Joey Thomas, number 81. 35-0 Tennessee. Let's go downstairs to Jeannie Zelasco.
Well, Tom, oftentimes football is compared to war, but Josh Amstutz knows better. Some 20 months ago, he wasn't on the sidelines. He was on the front line as part of the invading force that stormed into Iraq. Defending us, his country, almost cost him his dream of playing college ball. Corporal Amstutz took a sniper shot to the leg. Fortunately, the Purple Heart veteran recovered to become the heart and inspiration of so many Aggies players.
Throw by Brent Schaefer into the end zone, and it's broken up down there. Schaefer took a lick from Lee Foliaki. Getting back to that story a moment ago, certainly far more pertinent and important than the game of football. It's really an amazing story for Josh. He was a member of the Presidential Honor Guard back in 2001, part of the detail that escorted George W. Bush from Capitol Hill to the White House. That fall, he became engaged. Josh and his wife, Jessica, went to an A&M football game at Kyle Field. He was sitting in the stands and was so inspired by the school spirit, he decided he wanted to try and play football for the Aggies once he had fulfilled his duties as a Marine. He walked on. They had some 70 kids walk on, and he got down to the final 6 and in uniform after so bravely serving our country.
Well, we talk about guys having heart. He's got Purple Heart. You know, I mean, it's you see kids like that, you just admire everything about them. And when you have kids like that on your team, it's a daily inspiration from guys like that. And I went to Iraq and to Kuwait to visit the troops this year, and let me tell you something, the conditions that they are in every day are unlivable. The heat, the humidity, the sand, there is nothing pleasant about any of that situation. I'll say this, their morale and attitude is a dream for any coach coaching sports, because that's what those guys and those kids are like over there. And they are just that, they're kids.
We had a chance to ask Jackson Appel, one of the real leaders of this A&M team, about what Amstutz has mean to this Aggie football team this year.
He lets us know that no matter how bad it is here, it could always be worse. You know, it could be when it's 105 at practice and we're feeling sorry for ourselves and stuff. You know, just think about it could be 130 and people could be shooting at you. You know, so we should be happy that we're here playing this game and be fortunate that we don't have to be over there fighting to let us play.
Very well said.
He said 130. He wasn't exaggerating. In fact, you got a watch on today? Nobody over there can wear a watch because the heat will singe your skin. It's that warm, that brutal every day. Other thing, you look at the A&M there are no names on the back of that jersey. You know, Dennis Franchione didn't think that they were a team last year. One of the reasons why they were able to come back and unite this year is he took the names off the jersey. He wanted them to be one family. And that's what that symbolized.
They felt like their team last year did not play for the name on the front of the jersey rather than that one on the back of the jersey. You hear it a lot, but very few coaches do much about it.
Their first timeout.
Well, hopefully Josh is going to find time to get in this game today. I mean, let's be honest about it. This kid's got to get in this game. It's 35-0 here in the third quarter. Let's get him in there. $35-0 Tennessee. 4:48 to play in the third quarter. And under his own power, the junior wideout from Sarasota, Florida, Chris Hammond, leaving the field but appears to be okay.
Yeah. Went up for that ball in the end zone from Brent Schaefer, who's out there quarterback right now. It's a couple kids having, you can't eat pizza and not dribble it on your chin when you're a kid. You got to wear part of it in order to eat it right.
Some maintain that tradition after they become adults. Schaefer, his first completion since he left the game against South Carolina with a broken collarbone. And it's good enough for a first down. Catch made by Brett Smith for a gain of 11.
This is a heck of a story for Brent Schaefer to come back. I mean, he came back. He was practicing this week getting ready for this game, and then he came down with the flu. And he missed a couple of days of practice, and he thought he was going to put that comeback on hold for an entire offseason.
You know, they were rotating these quarterbacks. Schaefer actually was the first game starter for Tennessee. In fact, the first time a freshman quarterback had started a season opener for an SEC team since 1945. Although Schaefer was really sharing time back there with Ames. Gerald Riggs still on his feet inside the 20, down to the 17.
Well, here's what I think is amazing about that story. You said first true freshman at Tennessee and all that. This is a school that had Peyton Manning, didn't start as a freshman. And we're looking at this offense, and guys are changing plays at the line of scrimmage and shuttling players in and out. And you're a freshman, and you're taking this in day by day, and you're digesting this, and you're able to start. I mean, you're learning an awful lot of football in a short period of time. You just know that the guy is football smart right away.
Philip Fulmer did not want to talk about it yesterday, and you can certainly understand why. We touched on it briefly during halftime, but what to do next year.
Yeah.
Here you have a guy in Clausen that's playing so well here today. He has a lot more experience than the other two quarterbacks. He began the year with the two freshmen, Ainge and Schaefer, trading out series sometimes on a play-by-play inside the same series during the early part of the season. And they recruited a highly touted quarterback out of North Carolina, just 100 miles outside of Knoxville. It's coming in here next year. What to do?
I bet all those fans that show up at Neyland Stadium are talking about the same thing as well.
No doubt about it. Here's what Schaefer can do.
Wow. He is elusive. You know what he has? He has, I think the word right now in football is suddenness. His ability to just suddenly change directions, move, and a sudden burst at any point right here. Good ball fake right there. Got two hands on the ball, nice mechanics. Looking at number 7 on his back. Number 7 in Atlanta for the Falcons does a lot of that too. You don't see him tripped up very often, though. Usually he's gone.
3rd and 12 at the 20-yard line, and Schaefer to throw it. Good protection this time to the end zone, and just does overthrow his intended receiver, Brett Smith.
Good to see a kid come back, healthy like Schaefer, though. Having the problem with the shoulder and coming back from it and looking like he has no ill effects, from what put him out for 6-7 weeks.
Now James Wilhoit on for a 37-yard field goal try. He missed from 42 wide right. And this one is good.
Well, you look at Phil Fulmer, who said that this is 13 years here at Tennessee, 13 bowl games. I mean, that's the expectations every year at Tennessee, is a bowl game. You got one national championship, and he told me a stat the other day, which is remarkable. In his 13 years at Tennessee, after they changed coaches at LSU this year, there's going to be 40 coaching changes in the SEC. Well, he's been sitting high top of Rocky Top there in Knoxville.
Wow.
See a change, and he's been, the one constant there in that whole Southeast Conference.
Well, Tennessee's last win in the SBC Cotton Bowl. Got to go back to 1990 when they played Arkansas. UT wideout Anthony Morgan, an 84-yard reception for a touchdown in the second quarter. It's the second longest pass play to this day in Cotton Bowl history. And Chuck Webb, 250 rushing yards. A couple of touchdowns, this one for 78 in the third quarter. 31-27, Vols won it.
Guys getting a workout there today. And how many people are starting that workout program today on January 1st? I mean, that's sort of when it kicks in. You're probably going to start something this year, right?
No doubt about it.
Yourself youthful.
I thought you might have noticed I had done that this time last year. Apparently not. We were talking to John Chavis, the defensive coordinator of the Volunteers, and how really he made the decision a little more than a year ago to try and round back into shape. He felt like he had gotten a little heavy, and we noticed right away, and he was very happy about it.
Yeah.
He said, I'm redistributing the weight. I still weigh the same, but I'm trying to muscle up a little bit.
See,
good guy.
That's politically correct word, that redistributing of weight when you haven't lost any, but you swear you look thinner. And I tell you, one thing about this Tennessee program is the level of continuity. I mean, you know, great assistant coaches like John Chavis, I mean, teams come after guys like that all the time to be their next head coach, but
hands in.
There is a great quality of life there in Knoxville.
Batted down at the line of scrimmage on the first down pass attempt by McNeil.
You know, Randy Stevens has been there. I mean, he's a lifetime, half his adult life, you know, right now spent in Knoxville as a player and a coach. Certainly he's got the credentials that somebody would be looking for. John Chavis as well, credentials there, winning program, bowl game, good recruiter, good developer of talent. Certainly looks like in this carousel of college football that would be a good prospect to look at.
You know, you use that program, and Dennis Franchione has certainly earned the reputation as that pass is good enough for a first down after the 32 to Urban Taylor about turning programs around. Not only is it a hard job to turn a program around, I think that word is often overused when you talk about great programs. There are truly only about 10 great ones in the country that year in and year out, you can pretty much mark it down on New Year's Day. They're playing in a bowl game, going for their 9th, 10th, sometimes 11th win of the year.
And it's, yeah, I mean, it's hard to stay on top.
First down catch made by Daquan Mobley all the way down to the Tennessee 40-yard line. And Tennessee is one of those programs. And Dennis Franchione would like A&M to join that group. But even a school so rich in tradition like USC, they have really only been back the last couple of years. They were down for many years.
Oh, they dipped. You know, I mean, this Tennessee program, there's been no dip. I mean, they've been top 15, top 10 program now for well over a decade. I think it's important for the players, the fans, and future players at A&M to know that Dennis Franchione doesn't want to go anywhere else. That he's had a lot of stops. He's been to TCU. He revived that great program at Alabama, and now he says he's found a home. And his wife, yeah, I mean, a lot of stops along the way. Usually the wife has something to say about a coach that wants to move on. And, you know, he got to Alabama, rebuilt that program, rebuilt the Horned Frogs over there in Fort Worth. I think he likes the tradition and everything that there is about A&M.
In fact, is that pass a little too strong for Jason Carter? Coach Fran was telling us a couple of days ago that his wife Kim, after he made the decision to leave Alabama and come to A&M, that she told him, I would like to build my pine box home there. And he looked at her thinking, what in the world are you talking about? What is a pine box home? She said, that's where I would like to eternally end his travels of college coaching.
Yeah, take the wheels off.
Taylor.
That's that Rashawn Fellows again. You know, we've been talking about him, and well, that was Larkin.
Corey Larkin.
That was Corey Larkin. Yeah, that was a nice hit.
So you want to play wide receiver?
Nothing to it. Lower the shoulder and run right through the opponent. Now, this secondary came under a lot of scrutiny this year at Tennessee. A lot of changes, some injuries, a lot of youth there. Playing big here today.
4th down and 5. And very close to a first down. It looks like he got it. Boy, that is close. Do you believe, after watching Terrence Murphy on film the last couple of weeks, this guy will be playing on Sundays next year?
Yeah, you know, and I think there's good reason why. I mean, first of all, they've had a couple of receivers come out of here the last few years. I mean, Jamar Taylor with the New York Giants, Bethel Johnson playing for the world champion New England Patriots. And I think he's as good as any one of those, and if not better, more polished than either one of those kids coming out of college.
Slant, and was it a completed pass is the question. Yes, it was, and a fumble turns it over for the 4th time today by A&M.
You know, and I think that we have just nothing but jinxed these guys on Terrence Murphy. Gets the ball in his hands and he's running, and it didn't even look like he got hit. It looked like the ball just came out. It's Murph on the slant there.
Well, to think they had 8 turnovers all year long, half that many in less than 3 full quarters of play here today. Just one of those days.
Yeah, I mean, Jason Allen barely even got his shoulder on that ball as Terrence Murphy was trying to put that ball into his right hand. Lost the handle on it.
And then Jason Mitchell covered it up. Nary a turnover for the Volunteers. Lawson back in there for Schaefer. Gerald Riggs out to the 10.
Watching that Rob Smith there, just still finishing blocks here in this blowout performance by the Volunteers. He was still going downfield, hunting up another jersey to go knock down.
Only a sophomore.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like he's entrenched there. I think him and Sears right there. Aaron Sears, the left tackle. I mean, that to me looks like a pretty good and solid left side.
You got to run it
for a few more years.
No, they don't have to run a play. They don't have to.
Tennessee just going to let the clock run out here in the third quarter.
At the end of the third quarter, Tennessee 38.
Been a rough day for Reveille. Been a pretty good one, meanwhile, for Smokey and company. 38-0 Volunteers at the end of the third quarter.
Beautiful face of the Cotton Bowl. It used to be Fair Park Stadium. Changed it when it got the name here, when they got the Cotton Bowl here. Was the Rose Bowl. That was the granddaddy of them all. Cotton Bowl came along, took over Fair Park Stadium, turned it into the Cotton Bowl, and one of those beautiful old-fashioned stadiums you don't see anymore.
75,704, fourth largest crowd ever for a Cotton Bowl, and the largest in 27 years.
I say this, Tom. I say anybody that ever plays in a Cotton Bowl game will never forget it.
No doubt about it.
If you come here as a fan, you just don't forget it.
Gerald Riggs picks up 12 out to the 21-yard line.
Byron Jones on the side.
Tennessee has rushed for better than 180 yards here today. That's something that the Texas Longhorns did so well against this A&M defense, the final game of the year. Run it.
Yeah. Cedric Benson had a good day that day for the Longhorns. Nothing too fancy from them that day. Vince Young at quarterback.
Well, the only two teams to have 2 runners combining for more rushing yards than this Tennessee Volunteer duo of Houston and Riggs. Number 1, Texas, you said Benson and Young, and then Auburn, Cardell Williams and Ronnie Brown. Get a look at some of the carries today for Riggs, who's just gone over 100 yards in the game.
Guys are so similar. I mean, Riggs and Houston, they're so similar watching. Styles, and Riggs might have a little bit more speed in the open field.
Now Philip Fulmer going to give some others a try. David Yancey, sophomore out of Norfolk, Virginia. Granby High School on the carry there. His first today. Look at that little angel. New Year's Day.
Third down and punt.
Don't know why.
You can't get the, I think somebody's got to help her out with those binoculars. She might be looking backwards.
For all the dads out there that have little girls, they can do no wrong.
Yeah, that's right.
They do whatever they want. They own you. Boy, do they own you. Out to the 31-yard line again, it's Yancey. And every dad out there knows exactly what I'm talking about. They can turn them upside down, inside out.
Did you spoil yours on this holiday season?
What are you going to do? Your little girl.
Absolutely.
We were talking to Finn Ewing, who does such a marvelous job in putting together this Cotton Bowl. Local car dealer here in Dallas. And he had his children out at the A&M practice the other day. He said, when my boys come over and ask me for something, I always tell them no. When my daughter asks, whatever you need, honey.
But you know, you look at the little kids here, college football. They're the faces of college football as much as the alumni, the boosters, the parents. I mean, it's you know, it's a true family affair. Kids got binoculars out there, their face painted up. I mean, they're going to follow this game for a long time at that age.
Third straight carry for Yancey, a good one there, out to the 41-yard line. Well, you know, Baldy, you know how this goes too. The fans get so attached to these young men. You know, they come in and you hope they stay for 4. A guy like a Kevin Burnett, a Cedric Houston, for example, a Terrence Murphy, guys that, you know, become such a part of your family, even though you may never meet them if you're a big fan of either program.
If you're in Knoxville, Tennessee, if you're in College Station, Texas, it's not a pro team right there. I mean, that's who you root for. You root for these kids. You follow the programs, you follow them in the papers and the radio shows, and there is a great attachment to it. It's a community. You're attached to that community. And I think a lot of these kids, I mean, this week, a lot of the players went out to the Children's Hospital here in Dallas and was able to entertain some kids that aren't doing well at this point, put a smile on their face. They understand some of the role and what it means to be a member of, you know, the university and the football team and the clout that carries. And those kids are all learning the traditions of these respective universities.
Yancey tripped up, but he appears to have a first down. Needed to get out to the 42, and that one took him to the 43. They'll move the sticks.
How many of those little kids do you think got some kind of paraphernalia for Christmas from that university?
Oh, yeah.
When they put that, they were underneath the tree and they opened up that gift and put up that, you know, that Tennessee volunteer football jersey, or, I mean, you know, it's a special feeling.
Boy, and so much of it has to do with what part of the country you grow up in. Obviously, in the southeastern part of the country, there's nothing bigger. I mean, not even pro sport are bigger than SEC football. Of course, down here in the heart of Texas, you have a lot of professional sports here, but not so in the rest of the Big 12. You know, through Oklahoma and Kansas.
Sure. Norman, Stillwater, out in Lubbock.
And right on through the heartland of America, Big Ten country. Whether you're growing up as a Buckeye fan or rooting for Michigan, and all the way out west to SC or UCLA in Southern California. Really the only part of the country, and Baldy, you grew up in that part of the country that yes, has some success in college football, but not the fever pitch, the fervor, the passion in the Northeast, like perhaps some other areas of the country we're just talking about.
Not like the South. Not like the South, and through Texas, all the way through the belt there, all the way through Georgia and Alabama. I mean, it's you live for Saturdays. These kids, they live for Saturdays, and it starts early too. Put that helmet on them, and boys and girls alike.
Got to grow into that.
Yeah, exactly.
Third down and a yard. Under 9.5 to play here at the Cotton Bowl. 38-0 Tennessee leading Texas A&M. And Yancey will get the first down and then some to the 44.
You know, A&M wants to become a Tennessee. I mean, Dennis Franchione there, he's done a great job of, in 2 years here, of taking a program that was mediocre, took a little dip last year, thought he had to hit rock bottom, got it back on its way up, and this is a bad memory, but Dennis will build off of this. You know, McNeil will be back, and he'll be better next year, but Tennessee, they just don't dip. I mean, we're looking at Yancey right here, and he looks like he could start for a lot of teams. And, you know, this is how you keep the depth going. You get the guys, you know, some experience. You get them some, you know, some reps out here.
Boston going to spend a timeout. 8:48 to play in Dallas.
Tennessee.
Sun shining on the Volunteer State today. A lot of hard hitting going on here, Baldy. You love football.
Yeah, man. You know, life is just better when you have football in it. When
No
you're
doubt.
talking about it, playing it, watching it. It's just a better world, especially this time of the year. The holiday season, getting ready for the NFL playoffs. It's good fever. And a lot of good bowl games coming up here tonight, tomorrow, all the way through Tuesday.
And national championship game will be played on Tuesday night, and we are so honored at Fox to have acquired the BCS broadcast rights. Looking ahead to January 2007, the national championship game will be played right here on Fox in Tempe, Arizona at the Fiesta Bowl that year.
We hope that we get the Cotton Bowl in the BCS as well.
Absolutely.
Because they've earned that right. I mean, just the manpower, what they do to promote this game, to sell it, to build it, to get the best teams possible. Yeah, heck of a championship game, I think, on Tuesday night time. Looking forward to watching the Sooners and Trojan get it on. You think about USC, you know, you lose Mike Williams, you lose Kerry Colbert. You know, here comes Matt Leinart taking over for Carson Palmer. I mean, that's a machine going on out there as well.
And they have just about everybody back looking ahead to next year, but the only thing they're thinking about is Bob Stoops in Oklahoma.
Yeah, man.
Last year's Heisman Trophy winner Jason White, the quarterback for the Sooners. They're electrifying freshman Adrian Peterson and company against Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart, this year's Heisman winner.
You know, I don't know. I mean, I should know this, Tom, but has there been a national championship game where you get 2 Heisman Trophy winners on it?
I don't think so.
Time? I mean, this might be the first time.
Yep.
People overlooked Jason White this year, and I mean, if I was Jason, I'd be using that as a motivation. I mean, not that he needs anything more. National championship on the line, but his name nearly came up this year.
Who are you liking now?
I like the Trojans. I mean, I like the way that they throw the football, the balance, Reggie Bush. I mean, I like the way that they play the game.
Thrown out of bounds. It'll bring up 4th down, and Tennessee will put it away. Well, then you and I will may have to have a rooting interest for each side on that one. Not that, you know, particularly rooting for Oklahoma, but I believe it's the Sooners' year this year.
Well, look, I think I'm going to win this thing. You could just tow my luggage, you know, out of here everywhere we go. I mean, you could be a little schlep like that. And I think that would be a good thing.
The good news for those watching our telecast today, the one certainly, I guess, caveat of handling your luggage would be you're going to wait a long time to get wherever it is you're going, because we got a tour of the Metroplex earlier today from Brian Baldinger, who has called Dallas home for a decade after getting lost about 6 o'clock this morning.
Well, it was dark, and it was New Year's Day, and there's just a warm-up involved.
Prior to the snap, delay of game. Number 47, the offense, 5 yards, still 4th down.
Much like Brian Baldinger this morning, a little delay of game getting to the Cotton Bowl.
Well, I got here, though, and I was ready to go.
You were ready to go, all right. We saw parts of Lufkin and Tyler and just on the outskirts of Houston before we arrived
East
here.
Texas on New Year's Day before sunrise, there's nothing like it. The smell of a good wintry morning. Like nothing else.
Not touched by Eric Mays, and takes a A&M bounce out to the 32. 6:52 to play in the SBC Cotton Bowl. Tennessee in command all day. Like many across the country, we celebrate the life of Reggie White, a former University of Tennessee star back from 1980 to 83. A school record 32 career sacks. Of course, established the NFL record, later broken for sacks by Bruce Smith with 198, led Green Bay to the Super Bowl 31 win over New England. Had 3 sacks in that game, a Super Bowl record. Sadly, leaving us earlier in the week, a former teammate of yours, and the decal on the back of the Tennessee helmets today, a spiritual man, of course, was Reggie White, number 92.
I think everybody mourns the loss of Reggie White. Anybody that came in contact with him in any way has been mourning him this week. we show the sacks, and we put up the statistics and the career, and anybody that has ever met and been around Reggie, you never talk about football first. You talk about the man in his heart and what he could do. And we showed a lot of kids out here today. He had the joy of a child, and that's how he approached every day. He was just a big little kid.
Personal foul. Hitting a player out of the play. Number 18, 15 yards. Automatic first down.
I knew Reggie as Big Doggy. I mean, that's what we called him. He was just the Big Doggy, and he was funny. I mean, he could imitate a lot of different people. His imitations of Muhammad Ali were as good as Muhammad Ali. And just the way he could overtake a game at any time, like he did in the Super Bowl that we saw against New England that year. He could overtake a room full of kids or people looking for inspiration or guidance. He could do the same thing with his voice and with his beliefs and with his spirit.
Philip Fulmer's wife, in fact, traveled back for the funeral in North Carolina for Reggie White, as did his former teammate at Tennessee and your buddy, longtime Dallas Cowboy Bill Bates.
You know, and I heard the news last Sunday. It was just a shock. Because anybody that knew Reggie White, that was as big and healthy a guy as you're ever going to meet. And it's just shocking because we all kind of take these new vows here on January 1st and we get ourselves ready for another year and we all think we're okay. And if that guy like that can be taken from us, it happen to anybody. Just enjoy your time when you're here. Make the leave the influence and leave your mark when you can. Because that was way too soon.
Our thoughts and prayers with the entire White family and all of their friends across the country. Early movement along the line. Penalty flags come down on the pass attempt to Tad Schrader. $14 in the first quarter, 14 in the second quarter, 10 more in the third. It's been a scoreless fourth, and all points scored by the Tennessee Volunteers.
There are multiple fouls on the play. Offside, defense, the penalty is declined. Roughing the passer, number 55 of the defense. That penalty is accepted. 15 yards, previous spot, automatic first down.
A lot of late hitting going on here in the second half by both teams. Well, that's a second personal foul whistled against Tennessee on this drive.
I think it's important here for this A&M program to get on the board. And I mean, any kind of a score here. You just don't want to, in the record book, see that there was a shutout, because anytime you go back and you look at it, that's what's you're going to be remembered.
Going over the middle, real nice catch made by Latydrick Riley. First time we've called the junior's name here today. And he's inside the 20, down to the 17. You get a look at the Field Scoble Trophy, presented to the winners each and every year of the Cotton Bowl.
Of course, Field Scoble, former Aggie, representative of Texas A&M. We were at that luncheon yesterday, had the trophy there. Saw Gene Stallings, former Texas A&M coach, won a national championship at Alabama. Former coach of mine with the Dallas Cowboys.
Gene Stallings just elected into the Cotton Bowl Hall of Fame. Troy Aikman also will head into the SBC Cotton Bowl Hall of Fame. Lance Allworth, part of that class. Oh, what a marvelous college player and professional player, Lance Allworth.
Oh. Or the lightning bolt for a long time in San Diego.
No flags down.
That was a lightning bolt of a throw.
There it was. And a flag did come in on the far sideline. The catch made by Daquan Mobley. And he's inside the 5.
John Chavis, the defensive coordinator there at Tennessee, still got the game face on. Seeing his defense break down a little bit here with some of these
offside
penalties and personal fouls.
Defense, number 90. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
Talked about Troy Aikman. He played in the 1989 SBC Cotton Bowl for the UCLA Bruins in a 17-3 win. His final college game, drafted #1 by the Cowboys overall. Went 19 of 27, 172 yards, and a touchdown to Corwin Anthony.
Watching that footage of Troy last night, looked a lot faster in those pictures than he did as a Cowboy, especially later on. Look out.
Into the end zone and off the fingertips of Terrence Murphy, thrown a bit behind him.
Went right by the ear of Terrence Murphy there.
Big lineup tomorrow of the NFL. Vikings with a win will clinch a playoff spot. Boy, and you've got a good one to call tomorrow between the Saints and Carolina Panthers in Charlotte.
Yeah, you know, and whoever wins that game tomorrow, they're still going to be sitting on the edge of their seat because nothing's going to get decided in the NFC until Atlanta plays Seattle. So this week where Jim Moore is going to play Mike Vick and his starters up there in Seattle trying to win that game.
To the end zone, short. On the throw to Urban Taylor, who was wide open.
A lot of frustration on Taylor and McNeil's part. Wide open. Just didn't get enough behind it. Pulled the trigger on it.
3rd and goal now for A&M. Trying to score for the first time today. Which they did. Touchdown strike from McNeil to Urban Taylor. It's good to see.
Yeah, you know, I said it was important. It was important to get, of course, one of the great traditions.
Aggies score a touchdown. A lot of kissing going on.
Not enough today. Not enough for the Aggies today. There we go.
She told him, if we're going to kiss, you got to get rid of that lid.
Is that what she said?
Pegram now for the point after. But you saw her, didn't you? Either that or she said, what took you so long? But the kissing commences in Dallas. You know, that guy's going to be ticked off from that jag. 38-7. 5:13 to play in the 4th quarter here in Dallas. Aggies getting on the board for the first time today on the touchdown pass from McNeil to Urban Taylor. Crowd has thinned down a bit since this huge overflow crowd when we get started at 10 o'clock local time this morning. And now A&M to kick it away. And Newman bumps it into the end zone. And Tennessee will get it at the 20 when we come back. 5:13 left in Dallas. Seeing this, take a look. The 1954 Cotton Bowl between Rice and Alabama. Rice running back Dickie Magle, 265 rushing yards. The famous bench tackle. Now watch this. Alabama's Tommy Lewis comes off the bench to tackle Magle, who is racing for the end zone. Officials awarded him the touchdown from 95 yards away. Great stuff. Yeah. And great stuff today for Rick Clausen.
Yeah.
His brother Casey, who started for nearly 4 full seasons at Tennessee. Look what Casey did here in 01. Rough day.
Yeah, the little brother outshone him here in the Cotton Bowl 4 years later.
We were here for that one. It was bitter cold.
Oh, that was Arctic weather.
Carry out to the 34 again. David Yancey piling up the carries as this game has gotten out of hand. The sophomore out of Granby High in Norfolk, Virginia.
I tell you, what an afternoon really for the Clausens. The whole family came out here from California and sitting up there and watching, and probably got white knuckles, hoping that their son plays well. And, got his opportunity because of injuries this year, and he comes out here on this big stage, and we said it was like an away game. All the Aggie fans here to come out and play with the poise and precision. We talked about at the dinner table for a long time with the Clausens.
Brent Schaefer dropped for a loss. Clock ticking now under 4.5 minutes left. Tennessee trying to win its 10th game of the year and unquestionably will accomplish that feat, giving Phil Fulmer his 8th 10-win season in his 13 years on Rocky Top. That's winning a lot of games. They've won 100 games. Yep. Today would be 101 over the last 10 years, the most in the SEC. Phil Fulmer ranks first in winning percentage among all active coaches, a minimum of 10 years. Dennis Franchione is 6th. But to think that Fulmer's career record, just a staggering 123-31 after this Tennessee Cotton Bowl victory today. Of course, he was raised in Winchester, Tennessee, played offensive guard for the Volunteers, an assistant coach, a head coach, has a national title, 6 SEC Eastern Division crowns, and 2 SEC championships.
He's still biting his fingernail. Is he still biting him? I mean, still kind of chewing on him a little nervous about this one.
The only school to win more games in Division 1A since 1995 is Marshall University out of the Mid-American Conference. 1 more win than Tennessee. Many of you certainly back in Tennessee remember it well. 1999, the Fiesta Bowl in Tempe, Arizona. Tennessee winning the national championship over Florida State. A 54-yard interception return for a touchdown. T. Martin, the quarterback, the game's most valuable player, threw for 2 touchdowns and 278 yards. That one to Peerless Price. Tennessee to punt it away with 2:59 left. A 38-7 Volunteer lead. We were talking about the number of victories overall in Division I football over the last.
You know what cotton looks like?
Absolutely.
That's what it is.
That's right there. Yeah. Over the last 10 years, it should be noted that if Florida State were to win its bowl game today, and the Seminoles are playing right now, Florida State would join Marshall with 102 wins, 1 more than Tennessee. Tomorrow, Fox NFL Sunday returns, beginning with America's #1 pregame show. Then the Vikings try to secure a playoff berth when they take on the Redskins, or the Falcons battle the Seahawks in a possible playoff preview. Other regional action as well begins tomorrow with Fox NFL Sunday, noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, in high def, only on Fox.
Well, you see, Tennessee right there with 34 players active in the NFL, second most in the SEC. A&M with 29. If you're watching any of those games tomorrow, I'm doing Carolina and New Orleans. That Dante Stallworth,
hands in.
guy from the University of Tennessee, wide receiver, has really come on for the Saints right now.
After doing very little early in the year.
Yeah, he had a hard time hanging on to the football and hard time staying healthy. He's back in the starting lineup and really giving that team a boost here during their 3-game win streak.
Reggie McNeil can look ahead to next year when he will come back for his 3rd year as a starting quarterback.
Hands in.
And if he makes as much improvement from this year to next year as he did from last year to this year, it's going to be hard to find a better all-around quarterback in college football than Reggie McNeil. He struggled today, but those days are going to happen.
And, you know, at A&M, they've got 4 guys playing receiver. They're all former quarterbacks. All thought they were coming to A&M to play quarterback, but with Reggie McNeil, you're not going to play at that position. I mean, he's going to be the guy next year, and the package will only expand. He'll only execute at a higher level next year.
The very young A&M team.
Yeah. Guys like Daquan Mobley coming on back next year.
Catch made by Thomas. He's already made a couple of big plays today, and he crosses midfield down to the 48-yard line. Thomas 1 carry for 54 yards. And that is his second catch for nearly 50 yards.
Oh, man. I think Gatorade is the color of Volunteer orange. Somebody is got the assignment of dumping that over Philip Fulmer's head.
But Baldy, how is the decision made? Or who makes it? That one is intercepted. And racing the other way, all the way down inside the 15-yard line is Ryan Carl. A true freshman out of Franklin, Tennessee.
I think Reggie McNeil took a lot of aggravation out of this last tackle. The 5th turnover for A&M. We said all day that they came in having 8 all season. That ball got stripped away, and McNeil's going to take a lot out here on this last hit. That might have been the best hit by an A&M football player all day. There it is. See, you got a senior. You got a senior right there.
Well, I was starting to ask you, Baldy, how do you make the decision whether you go with the water jug or the Gatorade jug? And they got him with water, and here comes the Gatorade.
Well, you see, first of all, you've got to have, you got to be coy. And, you know, you can't let it be seen. You can't like get the word out that here it comes. And you got to be a senior because you got to celebrate your last game as a volunteer. So you saw Kevin Burnett there. He was helping to carry it.
Well, they just got John Chavis.
Chavis is going to chase, I think, one of the ball boys for not telling him.
And they got him with a Gatorade.
Yeah.
That's a messy one to clean up.
And, you know, and then, so here comes Kevin Burnett. You know, first of all, you get a little aggravated because you get doused, and then you got to give the senior his props.
Just happened a moment ago, sneaking up behind their
look at it. Look, see,
defensive coordinator.
Yeah, he's like a linebacker going in. Look at that. That's good down. And he was going after the guy that was setting him up. There was a setup going on there. You ask how you get that done, and it's a team effort. Yeah, you got to have a setup guy, you know, just to make sure that he doesn't turn around because, you know, all good defensive coordinators, they got eyes in the back of their head too. And they can see that coming.
C.J. Leak is come on to play quarterback. You know, we've talked so much about all the Tennessee quarterbacks today with the exception of Leak. I mean, here's a young man who was a Tennessee starter. And then once he realized that he would no longer be their quarterback going into this year, he wanted to change positions.
Yeah. I tell you, you look at the size of C.J. Leak, some NFL team will take him and throw him on special teams and give him a shot. I mean, he's a heck of a physical specimen.
Well, they're chasing somebody down there with bottles of Gatorade. That's Randy Sanders, the offensive coordinator.
He only gets the little bottles. And they ran out of the big buckets of Gatorade. That's what happened. Anybody going to get the Clausen family? They should get Gatorated too.
Well, they started with Phil Fulmer. Then they got John Chavis. And now the offensive coordinator, Randy Sanders. And a celebration is on in Knoxville. A 38-7 game, maybe the best game that Tennessee played the entire year.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you know, and that's all you can ever want as a head coach, Philip Fulmer, to have your team be at its best and play its best on a New Year's Day bowl game like this.
So they play Rocky Top. For Reggie McNeil, there will be better days. He'll be back next season, a quarterback for A&M. Very young team, a lot of quality redshirt players that will get a chance to put on a hat next year. 38-7 our final. from the 2005 SBC Cotton Bowl. We'll be back for more post-game coverage right after these messages. Tennessee wins its 10th game of the year. Their season concludes with a 2005 SBC Cotton Bowl victory over Texas A&M at 38-7. And for the trophy presentation, let's send it downstairs to Jeannie Zalasko.
Well, Tommy, time to put a punctuation mark on a great season for Tennessee. But first, look at this. This coach is still hard at work. I need to tell him, it's over, my friend. It is over. Stand right here. Get ready. All right, I don't get to do the honors. We turn to President and CEO of SBC, Bill Blaze. Sir?
Thank you, Jeannie, and thank you to Fox for an outstanding coverage of the SBC Cotton Bowl class. Coach Fulmer, congratulations on an outstanding season, outstanding game. You have a great young team with a very bright future. I'd like to turn things over to Mr. Gale Earls now, President of the Cotton Bowl, for a presentation of the Fields Global Award.
Thank you. Thank you, Blair. Coach, congratulations to you and your team, your administration, and all your wonderful fans. You've had a wonderful day. We're very proud of you. And I want to present to you the 2005 Fields Scoville Cotton Bowl Athletic Association Trophy, SBC's.
Thank you very much.
Now you're going to have to get one of these big guys to lift it.
Give it a lift, Coach. Get some of the big guys in here. Coach, congratulations. We talked towards the end of the broadcast here. This is the 8th time you've managed 10 wins, but a big sigh of relief because this one may be hard fought.
Well, it was a hard-fought season. I am so proud of this football team that I just can't hardly stand it. The leadership, the captains have been just fantastic. I want to thank the SBC Cotton Bowl for being great hosts. We've had a wonderful time, and it's just been a great week from that standpoint as well. But most of all, I want to thank this entire football team and these coaches and these great fans that we have.
And, Coach, how about your quarterback controversy, if you will, coming into the season? We didn't even really know as you went through the months what quarterback would be here today. Mr. Clausen, tremendous effort.
Oh, Rick just had a fantastic game. He's had a great, rich end of the year, really, and I think he was the MVP today, and he certainly deserved that from the standpoint of leading our football team in a very calm, poised manner to help us obviously be champions of the Cotton Bowl.
All right, sir, congratulations. Go celebrate with your team. Tom, so many of the players telling us this week they wanted to get back on a winning streak. Tennessee had dropped its last 2 bowl games. Mission accomplished today.
Indeed, Jeannie, thank you very much. Our game today produced by Jeff Gowan, directed by Rich Russo, our associate director Eric Millingmeyer, our broadcast associates Zach Field and Kevin Dresser, our technical producer Joe Stevens, our technical director Jonathan Evans. The senior producer at Fox Sports is Bill Brown, the executive producers Ed Gorn and David Hill. For Brian Baldinger, Jeannie Zalasko, I'm Tom Brenneman. Thanks so much for joining us. 38-7 Tennessee over A&M. For more information on today's game and the latest in sports news, log on to foxsports.com. Here's wishing you and yours a happy 2005.